Good morning, everybody. This is Andy speaking again. It's been, probably best, I guess it's probably been close to a year since I last posted on my journey of giving up alcohol. It's quite early in the morning, hence the reason I'm in my dressing gown, which is actually one of the benefits I've had of giving up alcohol is that I tend to sleep better and I certainly tend to wake up earlier. Although I do go to bed quite early, but just the whole sleep issue is just so much better. Since I started my journey, approximately 18 months, 2 years ago, there's been a lot of change from my perspective. I've gone through a process of completely giving up alcohol. Now I'm in a position where occasionally I have a glass of wine, occasionally I have a gin and tonic, occasionally I have a cocktail, occasionally I have a beer. I don't think I've actually had a whole pint of beer yet, but I occasionally have these things. So where I've gone from having, I guess, a sort of little concern or control over what I was consuming on a daily basis, I've gone into a position where I'm in a position now where I'm very much controlling what I have. I'm very conscious of what I drink, and what I do drink, I enjoy. I'm not become somebody that's anti-alcohol. I think there probably is a place for it in moderation, but I certainly wasn't somebody that was moderate. And that's why I needed this reset, which I've gone through. And that's why I will continue to basically do exactly what I've been doing for the last 18 months, a couple of years or so. It's part of the journey, I've been using a lot of sort of non-alcoholic options, everything from sparkling water through to non-alcoholic wines, which in the main I've not liked at all, or non-alcoholic sparkling wines, which I've not liked at all. Some of the non-alcoholic beers are very good, actually. A shout out to a British company called Lucky Saint, but there's also another one called One Drop Brewery. I think they're based in Ipswich. They produce some very palatable beers that are non-alcoholic. In fact, I would always default whenever I go out, wherever it may be, pub, restaurant, I always default to a non-alcoholic option. That's my standard position, which is when I look back, that is a massive change for me, but it's what I do today. But that doesn't mean to say that I won't have a beer with it. In fact, I've just been fortunate to come back off holiday, where my wife and I went to Australia, and they've got a lot of microbreweries, particularly around Melbourne and Sydney, and producing some, on the face of it, really good stuff. So, and they've got some quite good non-alcoholic options. That's what I found anyway. And I'd often have a little tiny glass of of alcoholic beer, low strength, and then a non-alcoholic beer with it, or after it, or something like that. The other thing I did notice in Australia, which I think I'd love to see in the UK, is they do some beers. Most beers tend to be sort of 3.5% ABV and above, but they do some beers at sort of 1% and 1.5%. So in that sort of middle ground between sort of 0.5, which is generally what I have, to 1.5, and I think there's a market there. So if you want maybe a bit of alcohol in it, you can have it, but at much lower strengths. So yeah, I certainly like the odd beer, and the odd glass of wine, as I've already said, but it's just that control I've got, which I didn't have before. So I'm really pleased that I went through that reset. In addition to that, um, I'm sure if you go on this journey, you will find that this change, this reset of your life will feed into other areas of your life. Um, one of the things that I have been doing, mainly through encouragement of my children, of all, is been running, which I have to say I don't really like, and I'm not really built for. Um, but I got involved or encouraged to do the uh, there's a worldwide phenomenon called the Saturday Park Run. Effectively, it's in most major towns and cities around the UK, but worldwide. You can go and do a 5k, 3 mile park run or walk. There's a whole mix of people: old, young, fat, thin, people pushing buggies, people pulling dogs. It really is such a varied environment of different people of different capabilities. Nobody judges you. There's encouragement through the whole process, from other walkers and runners, through the marshals that show you which way to go. It really is an unjudged environment, and I think it's if you want to take up doing a bit of running or walking, get yourself down to your local park run, 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. It's a bit of an early start perhaps, but it just gives you a focus. So I've been doing that for the last, well, I think I've done about 30 now, something like that. Although I've had the last 2 months off because going to Australia was one reason. I've got some family issues that I've had to deal with, which has taken about a month. And I did have a small injury in a hamstring, which took about 2 weeks. So yesterday was my first run in 2 months. And yeah, it was a struggle. And I was about 4 minutes slower than my best time, which in itself is pretty slow. But, for me, it's not so much about, trying to it is about doing the fastest time, but equally it's about just turning up. And this is one of the things I've noticed about exercise and in general, is that, but it also applies to many other things. It's not so much about whether you're capable. It's more about just showing up and turning up and doing it consistently. So that's something that's also changed, and it will continue to change. I'm just starting also to add a weight training. I say weights, it's more, I suppose, calisthenics, so it's more using my own body weight to build muscle. I'm a man of a certain age that needs to focus on keeping that muscle, or building that muscle even more so. So that's been another shift that's happened, or will be happening, I have to say. And perhaps the last major shift is that I'm also sort of retraining myself in an area of programming that sort of has come left of field for me, partially because of an incident that happened over the last, since I posted, actually. I've lost my father, and my mother's had some very serious health conditions, and it just struck me at the time that my mother was going through these problems, that it might be worth having technology should be able to help her in her recovery. And it was that thought plus an interest in the sort of programming area that I thought, well, maybe I could build something. Now, I'm at the very early stages of this, but again, the most important message here is that it's been a change, a shift, and I don't think that would have happened if I hadn't made the reset with alcohol. So, resetting your relationship with alcohol isn't just about that in itself. It will widen. It will expand, I think, naturally to other areas of your life as well, which to me, and in my circumstances, has been a wonderful experience. And I would recommend to anybody who is considering this, go and give it a go, because your life is going to change for the better, in my experience. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube, as I've said many times. Go and listen to the stories, because it's a wonderful thing to do. We'll speak again soon. Bye bye.